over some of my community posts that I posted on and just elaborate on some of those things. Number one, starting with, is your love language. Did you know that you can adamantly, truly, sincerely be showing love to someone and they can still not feel like you love them? And the reason for that is because they have a different love language than you. And most times people who are showing love are doing so in the way that they would most likely feel loved, right? So for me, let's see if I can get this going. For me, acts of service is huge. If you can do something for me and just take something up off my plate, I would be so appreciative. And so when I was an executive assistant, that would be the things that I would do for my executive. It's like, oh my gosh, let me get you your coffee in the morning so you can just enjoy your coffee, focus on your work, and know that your coffee's coming. You don't have to get up and go get it. Unless that's something you want to do because you need a break, by all means, go ahead. But it's like, for me, it was like, here, let me cater to you because that's my love language. I like to show love in that way. Some people like gifts, right? Some people like people to know that they went out and thought about them and they selected something and they handed it to you and said, here, I bought this for you. Oh my gosh, I hope you like it. For me, except getting gifts is often uncomfortable because it's like, oh my gosh, what if I don't like it? And yeah, the thought is there, and how kind of them to even think about you and to go out and do it. But then I feel pressure to be like, am I going to like it? I don't know. For me, gifts is not as important to me, or they're not as enjoyable for me than acts of service, or even spending time for that matter. It's like, we're spending time together, you're helping me out with some stuff, this is so great, I feel so loved, right? Because it's like so much stress on my plate because I have a lot of things to do and I'm only one person. So if somebody can come on in and help me with some things, like I have tons of ideas, no surprise, right? I get tons of ideas, I write them down, it's like I have a journal full of things that I want, projects that I want to work on. And some of those projects have hurdles in them because it's like, I don't know how to get from this step to that step, but then I know that there's someone out there who does. And I know that there's someone out there who can fill in all those little blanks that I'm clueless to, because there's a lot of things that I'm clueless to, right? So, and there's no shame in that because it's just, hello, I know everything. I know parts and other people know other parts. That's just the way we all work together. Anywho, you understand what I'm saying. So acts of service and time, it is really important to me, and it may be something that's important to you. Other people need words of affirmation. Things like, oh, you're so great, or thank you so much, or I appreciate it so much. To me, those are just words. People can just kind of, what's the word? Humor words and gestures or whatnot. It's like, flattery gets you nowhere with me. Yeah, I appreciate it. But again, the other love's languages are more important to me. It's nice to be seen as, so many complimentive things. It's nice to be given constructive criticism. I love that. But still, those are still opinions of people, and not everyone's going to share the same opinion as that one person, right? Clearly, with so many different videos and stuff that are on YouTube these days. Clearly, by so many people getting upset and mad about certain speeches that are made, right? I mean, we all have an opinion. So, but they are important because I was working at a job and there was zilch. There was no compliment to my work. There was no compliment to the department. There was no compliment to any of those kinds of things, but they did want me to head 2 different departments. So I mean, that in itself is a compliment, but it's like during those months and weeks and days of working in that department and there's no positive feedback, it's like you kind of wonder. But on the positive side of that, you also get to self-appreciate your own work because you know that it's good, right? You know it's tidy, you know it's organized, you know you're getting feedback from the customers, that they're just loving how everything is looking, and that's all it took for me, right? And then when I got the promotion opportunities, I was like, well, there it is, So I started not needing that outside validation just because, So I guess the whole Words of affirmation, I've learned that it's not something that is extremely necessary for me, but for other people, that's how they feel loved and noticed and seen, because it's like they're being acknowledged, and that's important, and I'm not crumbing on anyone who has that. And then what's the other one? Acts of service, words of affirmation. Oh, touch. Touch is the other one. Oh my gosh, nice to meet you, and you touch them on the shoulder or something, or give someone a hug, or holding hands, or walking arm in arm, or things like that. That one's another one that's kind of important, just because it's like they say that you should have up to 10 hugs a day for a healthy lifestyle, if I remember the verbiage. I wonder if Google can tell me, and I wonder if Google's on right now. Hey, Google! Guess not. I can look it up this way. Let's look it up this way. You gotta love it, but now that's gonna move me away from my page, huh? Okay, well, let me see if I can be smarter than the equipment. There's Google. Hey Google, psychologically speaking, how many times does a person need to be touched a day in order to feel healthy?
On the website GreenwichPediatrics.com, they say, as author and family therapist Virginia Satir once said, we need 4 hugs a day for survival. We need 8 hugs a day for maintenance. To find out more, look for the link in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
4 hugs a day for survival. I don't know about you, but I get hugs a day. And I'm surviving, folks. I'm hanging on, but I am surviving. I give little hugs to my pets. You know what I mean? I will give a hug to my pillow at night when I go to sleep. Maybe those are working. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting other kind of hugs in the non-seen fields. I don't know. I don't have the answers to it all, but psychologically speaking, that's what they said. So that is another love language. So I had asked on the community post, if that's what they're calling it now, they might have changed it. How do you feel loved? And if you're in that situation where you are showing your love for your significant other, your partner, your family, your friends, but you're constantly hearing, you don't love me. How come you don't ever show me you love me? How come you don't ever show me you care? And all these other things. Maybe you need to find out what their love language is and show them that you love them that way versus the way that you show your love language. It's just a thought, and maybe it could help, right? Just maybe. It's another thing to try, because sometimes it's not just you. Sometimes it's communication that's not happening. And if the more information that you have on topics, the more that you can take responsibility for your part in things and do the best that you can in order for the relationships that are important to you. And I guess it could also go with the same with if you are a manager and you're running a department. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't have to cater to every single person in your department, because if you have a large team, that's going to be kind of difficult. But if you know your team members enough, maybe you'll consider showing them your appreciation in their love language. And then maybe you'll get them to be a little bit more productive. I don't know. Maybe you could be the joy in their day, because we spend most of our times in lives at work. And it's important to be around people who do care about you. I guess it just depends on who you want to be, right? You don't have to. But it's always nice. At least consider. With that being said, make it a great day.